tuning in right now.
All right, let's get into this. Spawning here in the lower right corner of the map, it's the green Zerg, Tefel.
Right. And in the upper left-hand corner, Vohana. In the light blue trunks. He won the first game. He's in GSL code A. It is Arthur.
I think I'm starting to overdo it with the camera work now. I gotta find
It's
that
easy to
perfect
get carried
medium.
away.
Yeah, the thing is the controls, I want it to be WASD for moving the camera left, right, up, and down. But nope, it's gotta be the arrow keys because I need D to be production, everything else how you're used to having it. I don't.
First world esports problems.
Well, Tefel, I mean, we just finished talking about this a little bit. I gotta say, on Ohana, he's not gonna have that same advantage of all the dead space. There's not as much of it. There's definitely some bits here. You get the islands, but I mean, they're much smaller. You get the rock faces. He can't really abuse. I'm gonna say abuse in quotes. He can't take advantage of, I guess I should say, the dead space for Broodlords in this matchup. So we'll see if he goes down the same tech path. But I mean, it is PvZ. Pretty much every late game scenario begs Broodlords.
It begs Broodlords, but it also begs for Infestors, and we didn't see Infestors out of Tuffle last game.
No, he didn't.
That
He's also
was
lacking upgrades pretty severely as well. I feel that was a very large factor. I mean, Arthur's sitting on +3 weapon upgrades, +2 armor, I believe,
yeah,
right at the very end. Not to mention sentries and whatever else you wanted to add to that. Gotta be
yeah,
sitting
man.
comfortably. But Tefel, now the one thing is, I'm really curious. If I was able to interview these players, if I was able to ask them anything, I'd be like, Tefel, did you know about that probe that sat inside your main for 18 minutes
Mm.
and then unleashed the zealot for oh, it was awesome.
That was pretty brutal to see go down
Well,
because it
it's
was just like pixels outside of the shade, literally pixels
I
outside.
know, if anything had even just happened to cock its head that direction, it would have seen it. But it's funny because you had mentioned will we see something cheeky? And while it wasn't intentionally cheeky or cheesy, it worked out very nicely for Arthur.
It totally did. And Arthur's response here in the second game is to go for a slightly faster forge to get his cannon up a little bit quicker. The Nexus comes after the forge in this case, just because Ohana is a slightly smaller rush distance. So you really want to be on your toes in the event that Zerglings are streaming across the map, trying to get into your main base and distract you. But only 2 lings being made here from Tefel. Another very standard ZVP opening with the third base just about to go down.
Boom! Zoom in, twist.
All right, don't get too carried away, Rifkin.
Okay,
You don't want to
okay.
give people headaches on the other
Calming
side.
down, man. I have calmed the hell down.
I do like when observers zoom in on stuff though, and it's well framed and whatnot.
Get
I
rid of the UI. Do a little
very
twist.
yeah, very soft spot in my heart for that. Makes me happy.
Well, right now, Arthur, last game, he went for those Phoenixes. He was able to do quite a bit of harass, but also provoked quite a bit of an, well, I don't know if you, what, I almost want to call it an over-response, because Tefel stuck with those Hydralisks for the whole duration of the game, but they also worked very nicely for him, and they shut down those Phoenixes very early. I don't think Arthur got more than 5 kills with those Phoenixes throughout the entire game.
Man, he killed 11 workers in that first initial attack. That was big. That was really huge because
Yeah, but
that set him even.
a lot of that, though, was the Zealots and such that happened
It
to hit around the
was
same time.
partially, but he got every single queen. That was another thing.
That was actually, yes, that's actually a big point.
Every queen on the map was dead. Long live the queen. No. Arthur says, I will slay the queen. You will
Well, it's
not
funny
move on
because
every single point on the board.
you can kill a bunch of workers, and that's definitely effective. There's no arguing about that. But when you kill a queen, you cut the larva production. And having no, those 3 extra larvae are critical. You can't drone up, you can't economize, you can't do anything without them.
Yeah. You can definitely get hampered, but alright. Arthur this game, he's not going for a Stargate, he's going for a robotics facility, which could lead us to some very early Colossus play. I think Ohana's a great map for a Colossus, and if you can get it out before Infestors make their way out, before Mutas get out in the field, then you can just dominate a Zerg player.
Well, alternatively, too, you go with the more popular play, which seems to be the Sentry Immortal All-In.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got people like Parting who are making that really, really popular, and it's well, it's so darn effective. Why not do it? I mean, we've seen so few people effectively hold it off in a cost-efficient way, and I think watching Snoot do it before is probably the best. Where, if, it's coming, okay, throw down 11 spine crawlers immediately. It's just the best way to deal with it.
That's
I
true.
A lot of Zerg players, I mean, Penguin. we talked about him a little earlier today. He's one of the casters here at Base Trade TV. He's a master Zerg player, and his biggest gripe with it is the most cost-effective and efficient way to deal with a Sentry Immortal All-In is impossible to get because the units you need, you can't get them at the timing that it hits.
Right. Right. Which is why we see it happen so often. But, you know, that makes a lot of sense for Arthur to do a build like that because he does have great unit control. We saw it on display last game, and we're likely going to see it on display in just a couple of minutes here because he's dropped down 4 gateways. He's pumping out more and more and more.
That's
The first
6, 7,
observer is on the way too. But I wouldn't be shocked to see it come sometime around when this +1 finishes because, yeah, 6 gateways now.
Yeah, there'll be
the way.
7 total with these Immortals that are already out. This is going to put him in a very nice position to move across the map. Now, the thing is, like Tefel, he needs to do one of 2 things, and he has to do both of these. If he doesn't do both of these, he's going to be in some trouble. One, he's got to scout this. If he doesn't see this coming, like if he doesn't have knowledge of this, that's just going to be it. The other thing is he's got to be able to get Arthur to waste some force fields on the way to his base. There's nothing worse and nothing more annoying than going for force fields and realizing you don't have enough.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing the Hydralisk play once again out of Tefel here, and Hydras can be effective against Immortals. But when you have sentries out there partitioning off the map, and you have a low unit counts in your Hydras and Roaches,
Ooh, now Tefel-
and you don't engage properly, Arthur's just going to be, he's going to be the most cost-efficient beast you've ever seen in your life.
Well,
And
too, Tefel is going once more for Hydralisk, and Hydras are great at dealing with both of these units as sentries have low health, and Immortals, the Hardened Shield, whatever, Hydras get
it's all
through
going to
that.
come down to the engagements, though. Can Tefel get surrounds? That's going to be his key move.
I
of
don't
the
feel
game.
there's enough units to deal with this, that's
No.
the problem. And this is what we're talking about, like, the units you want to have out, it's so hard to have enough of them. Now Arthur is getting some stalkers in behind this.
60 more additional lings are on the way. More Hydras are about to join the fray as well. Single Spine Crawler out there saying, like, come at me, bro. What's up, man?
Yeah, the
Alright,
thing
there
is,
here
like,
comes more force field.
Arthur will never have to engage all of Tefel's army at once. This is what the force fields do, guys. They section off the army bit by bit, piece by piece, and you whittle away at your opponent, and you don't lose anything in doing so.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. No, he's gonna make some force fields grow, and this is a perfect choke here for Arthur.
So Tefel, yeah, sectioning off things once more. We'll start whittling away at all the units. The Hydras on the high ground are separated from the Hydras on the low ground. But Arthur not wanting to engage either of them, interestingly enough.
Yeah, one sentry got needled to the face, and this is kind of an awkward composition to be going up against at this point in the game. I mean, Arthur's probably not used to seeing this happen too often, because we're likely to see infestors, but alright, it's gonna be like almost pure Hydra right now, Rifkin.
Yeah, Tefel definitely liking his Hydralisk play today with 13 sentries, Doom. Oh, that's a lot of force fields.
It's a decent arc though, but the Protoss is just gonna move forward here. Still got a lot of shields going, all of his units as well. Force fields again, yep, continuing to come join in, and here we go. Queen's not even gonna try to join the fray, but that's gonna fall.
Tefel's been whittled
dude,
down. This is how you play this. You just whittle away at your opponent. You don't need one big decisive victory. And actually, these sentries are pretty much exhausted at this point. There's only 2 left, and they're very low on energy. Arthur's got to be careful as now he's finding himself in a bit of a bind.
Yeah, he does have a War Prison though, and that's gonna get almost focused, fired down by the Hydras. No.
But there's so many Zealots that warped in behind this as well. And, ooh, the War Prison. Yeah, nice pickup, beautiful pickup as he continues to push up this ramp.
And like to see warp in some more Stalkers here to help assist for Ire, because the Zealots are going to crush every single Ling that's going to filter in. The Immortals are continuing to do damage. One is going to fall though.
Oh no, getting picked up very nicely done there.
It's going to be sentries.
Yeah, he needs more sentries in this army. But this is not looking good for Tefel. He's got reinforcements coming in. Oh, even force building off the main ramp. Tefel, not looking too good here, Doom.
No, 23 workers in total in killed here for Arthur. Continuing to have more warp-ins available to him if he chooses to do so. A couple of Stalkers. Sentries.